Question number 3, Andrew Williams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Building and Construction, has he received any reports of substandard buildings being built as part of the Christchurch rebuild? If so, how many buildings are known to be substandard?
Speaker.
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Mr Speaker, no, I have not. During the course of the removal of Christchurch City Council's accreditation by IANZ did identify 17 consents that they had some concerns with. Staff from the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment have gone back and looked at all 17 of those consents, have found that where they didn't comply was of a minor technical nature with regards to paperwork and documentation, but the consents are indeed sound with regards to the buildings themselves.
Supplementary question, Andrew Williams.
When was the Minister first informed that there were issues regarding building standards as part of the Christchurch rebuild? And what action, if any, did he take to address these issues?
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Speaker, the first I was informed was on the 6th of June, after IANZ had published its one-month notice document on the 28th of May, and at that stage we had MB officials in the Christchurch City Council working alongside. In fact, we'd actually had them there for some time before, but they intensified their work from that point on to be able to satisfy ourselves that the consents being issued were actually sound.
Supplementary question, Andrew Williams.
To the Minister, why has it taken his officials until today, only after the lodging of this question this morning, to contact engineers that have previously raised concerns with him and his department, when these engineers made him fully aware of their concerns as far back as 2008 and he chose to do nothing?
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Mr Speaker, if the member is referring to Mr Scarey, then I say to him this, that if Mr Scarey does have a particular building...
Order. Order.
Well,
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
I'm going to choose to pronounce it as Scarey, sir, and I can tell him if Mr Scarey does have a particular building that he thinks has a problem, then he has a moral obligation to bring that building to our attention and not use a scattergun approach of just saying, I know of buildings, but not give us the detail.
Mr Speaker.
A point of order, Andrew Williams.
I seek leave of the House to table 3 emails from structural engineers, including Mr John Scarey, in relation to information and advising the Minister as far back as 2008 on this issue.
Leave us sought to table those documents. Is there any objection? There is none. They can be tabled. Supplementary question, Andrew Williams.
Supplementary to the Minister. What did he do about the serious problems in the building consent authority functions of the Christchurch City Council, which included approximately 18 months of post-earthquakes, given his department was made aware of these problems as far back as 2009?
Honourable
Mr Speaker,
Williamson.
Mr Speaker, many of the issues around the Christchurch City Council were of a similar nature that many other councils have had with regards to complying to the accreditation process of IANZ. In fact, in the September of last year's report, the Christchurch City Council were not the worst of all the councils in New Zealand with regards to that compliance. However, in the May report of this year, 6 corrective actions were identified that were incredibly serious. It was those 6 actions that IANZ said they would withdraw the accreditation from, and on the 29th of June, that is what happened.
Supplementary question, Andrew Williams.
Supplementary to the Minister. What does the Minister know about a building that is now referred to as the Son of CTV building because it has similar structural design to the original CTV building that collapsed with great catastrophe? And does he now agree with structural engineer John Scarey, who commented in August last year that some members of the building industry were guilty of allowing illegal building practices in Christchurch under his watch?
Honourable Maurice
Mr Speaker, once again I will tell the member that it's officials in my department that advise me as to whether buildings meet the code or not. After CTV collapse, MB officials went and identified about 300 buildings across New Zealand that were of a similar genre and of a similar style and of a similar design. And, Mr Speaker, so far, every one of the evaluations they've done of those buildings have come back as the buildings being okay. But again, I repeat, if the member wants to bring to me the case of a specific building, our officials will look at it. There is no benefit for me ignoring such advice, and I will have the building looked at by them.
Supplementary question, Honourable Leanne Dalzell.
Does he stand by his statement on Checkpoint last week that the government would never have allowed consenting to carry on if it didn't comply with the law? And if so, why was the Christchurch City Council, BCA, allowed to do so in light of the September report from IANZ, which included the six corrective action requests? Or does he not still realise that that's actually what the report says?
Honourable Morris Williamson.
Speaker, I'm delighted the member raised the Checkpoint interview, because immediately after the Checkpoint interview, the Chief Executive of IANZ wrote to me and said that Mary Wilson on Checkpoint had got it wrong. None of the consents issued were illegal. What they did have was concerns about compliance. They said they had concerns about compliance with the building code, but that actually no illegal consents or consents that weren't consistent with the law had been issued.
Point of order, the Honourable Leanne Dalzell.
I seek leave to table the transcript from that Checkpoint interview, which is being ordered at the moment.
Order. That transcript, that information is freely accessible by any member who wants to get it. Point of order, the Honourable Leanne Dalzell.
The difficulty that I have is that the Minister referred to a statement as if the interviewer made it. He was the one that said the word illegal, not her.
That's now a debating point. If the member has further supplementaries, you can use them, but it's not a means of justifying the tabling of a radio transcript. Point of order, Honourable Morris
Williamson. I seek leave to table the letter from the Chief Executive of IANZ to me, pointing out that what was raised on that program was incorrect.
Leave is sought to table that letter. Is there any objection? There appears to be none. It can be tabled. Supplementary question, Honourable Leanne Dalzell.
Was it the Minister who in fact used the word illegal in the interview with Mary Wilson on Checkpoint?
Honourable Morris Williamson.
Mr Speaker, I would be foolish to try and recall every word used in the interview, but I do know that the words used during the interview were incorrect by the person doing it, Mary Wilson, and that is what the Chief Executive wrote the letter to me to correct what Mary Wilson had said.
Question number 4, Claudette Hoiti.
Modi order, Mr Speaker.